thought I'd call because I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things that bother me about religious people. And the first thing that bothers me about them is that when you tell them that you don't believe in God, they tell you to go read the Bible. And what puzzles me is that all you have to do is read the first few sentences of the Bible to know that this is a book of fiction. And what good is it going to do to read more of the Bible and read more stories of more fiction? How is that going to convince you that the Bible is true?
Yeah, if I eat one bad apple and I throw up, how is eating the whole barrel going to do me any good?
Yeah. So, all you have to do is read the first few lines of Genesis. God created the heavens and the earth in 7 days, and if you're using your good critical thinking skills, hey, this is a book of fantasy because it defies the laws of physics.
Yeah.
And then if you go on and read about the rib and the apple and the snake and on and on, well, fantasy plus one fantasy does not equal a reality. A fantasy plus a fantasy equals two fantasies. And it's just, I apply the same logic as when I read, for example, Cinderella, and I read about the fairy godmother, and then I realize immediately, hey, this is a book of fantasy. I don't need to keep reading the book to realize that this is a book of fantasy and listen about the pumpkin and the coach and the mice and being changed into white horses. I get right away that this is a book of fantasy because it defies the laws of science.
I will though say this. For things like fables, there's a moral to the story. You do get something out of it. But the point is that moral is true, irrespective of the story.
Yes.
And its truth is evident with no dependence upon the story.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true in whatever context is true.
Correct.
And it's not true in whatever context it's not true.
That's right.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm hearkening back to my philosophical debate, but go ahead.
I mean, I have never read the Bible other than a few words here and there because I was miraculously, if I may use the word, spared being raised in any kind of religious environment. My parents were not atheists that I know of. I've never had a religious discussion with my parents ever, but religion was never, ever mentioned in my family. So I never went to church, I never went to Sunday school, and I never read the Bible.
And oddly enough, you're an atheist.
Well, yes.
And see, I did read the Bible, I did go to church, and I was raised religious, and I am an atheist.
That's right.
So see, we got there two different paths.
No, this is making
different paths.
This is making me laugh because I responded to an email tonight, and one of the things somebody had said was something about people's inherent their inherent belief in a creator God. And I said, if people inherently believed in a creator God, why do we have to indoctrinate them as children?
That's right.
If you don't indoctrinate them, maybe they don't. We won't know until people stop indoctrinating them.
But I tried for years to find a religion that made sense to me, and I investigated several different religions, and none of them made sense. And finally I realized about a year ago, hey, I'm an atheist. And I'm kind of resentful that it took this long to come to that realization because there's this atheist taboo in our culture.
All right, Debbie, I got to cut you off. We only got 45 seconds left in the show. I understand the frustration. I went through it as well. And just you can get over it because things happen and you are who you are because of it.